This one. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So yours is this one.
This one.
Why? Yeah, you do. Here we go. Okay.
All right, welcome everybody to our afternoon session on the first full day of the conference. We're here talking about community-based conservation, and we've got some amazing examples to share. And I'd like to welcome our first speaker, Nabin Joshi.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nabin Joshi. Today, I am going to present research work that we have conducted in the Himalayan region of Nepal. My research topic is ecology, production, traditional usage and management practices of critically endangered Nardostachys Jatamansi from Nepal. So I am working with an organization in Nepal called Asia Network for Sustainable Agriculture and Bioresources, who we work with the local communities and particularly in the management of forest, involving the local and indigenous people for improving their livelihoods through the enterprises of forest-based enterprises particularly. Thank you. And before going to my top research findings, these are the outlines that I'm going to cover today, and you can see the photographs of the species, which is very highly endangered and very high significant for the biodiversity conservation. And something about Nepal I would like to tell you. We are a small country in between the giant two countries like India and China. Having said that, we have a very low and less land mass. We are biodiversity. We can have 1.3% of the total world biodiversity over there, and with a short span of the geography, like north south is 200 kilometer and east west is 800 kilometer. There are 5 physiographic regions. You can see in the photographs as well, and it is ranked around 49th ranked in the biodiversity in the world. And Nepal has a non-flora of 13,000 around so far identified, and Jatamansi is one which has very high significance in terms of biodiversity conservation and local people livelihood. Around 60% of the local communities are depend upon this species, and they collect from the wild and sell to the local market, and it is then sold into the international market. So this species is distributed from 3,000 meter to 5,000 meter in the Alpine region, and this is native to Nepal, and some of the species are also available in Bhutan, China, and Myanmar. And Nepal is the prime location for this high value species. And this species is categorized under the Appendix 2 of the CITES, and also critically endangered. It is listed in the red list of IUCN, and government has listed it in the banned species. And the raw form of this species cannot be traded nationally or internationally. It means only processed, semi-processed form of this species can be sold in the market. So we try to know the ecology, its management practices, local traditional knowledge about this species through this research, and this is the objectives. The special objectives are to know the spatial distribution of Jatamansi. Jatamansi is also known as Spikenard in English, so you don't confuse with this species local name. And another is to know the productivity and status of the regeneration, how the plant is regenerating in the natural state. So these are the main objectives, and also to document the traditional knowledge and practices, how people are using this species and since how long. So these are my objectives of this research. And this is the area where we studied. Of the total 27 districts, we consider 8 districts in mountains. So our study site is highlighted in the map, you can see. And the method we applied for this research is the participatory approach. It means we did it with the local involvement of the local community in different steps. Like we involved them in participatory resource mapping. First of all, to know the habitat of the species, we have to consult with the local communities. They are the local manager of these, forests, so they know better where is the species and how far they go to harvest. Based on their knowledge, we, participatory develop a resource map, and the resource map was then digitized in the GIS application, so that we identified the area and their spatial, distribution. So we conducted a stratified random sampling method, and sampling intensity was taken in between 0.05 to 0.5 based on the area of the forest where it is available. And the size of the plot was circular plot. We measured the samples of this species in a circular plot of 2.82 meter radius, that is 25 square meter plot in overall. And based on the results study, we find some interesting results. As you can see, out of these 8 districts that are in the western, midwestern, and central region of Nepal, so regeneration was found very good in midwestern region as compared to the central and western region. Also in literature, you can see the prime habitat of this species is midwestern region rather than central and west. So our results are also comparable with this, literature. So the regeneration is considered as poor if the number of seedlings per hectare is less than 2,000. It is considered good if the range is between 2,000 to 5,000, and it is called excellent if the regeneration number is bigger than 5,000. So this is the protocol given by Nepal government. We followed this. Likewise, to know the effective area and effective area of this species in all 8 districts, we use Maxent model in ArcGIS. So we are able to know the spatial area of this species. In total, 9.14 million, 0.91 million hectare is the total effective area. How we calculated this effective area is, first we identify the potential area for this species, and we took a sample over this area where the frequency of occurrence was estimated. if we multiply the frequency with the potential area, the total effective area of the species was calculated. So based on the inventory, ground level inventory, we estimated plant height, average length, and the rhizome size. So the results also shows that the Midwestern region is very productive for this, the parameter that we measure is compared to the Central and Western region. And the growing stock we measure based on the field inventory data, and the range was from 100 kg per hectare, 102 kg per hectare to 173 kg per hectare in natural state. So we are able to get the stock of this species. How is the total stock? What is the total stock of that Jatamansi? You can see in the box and whisker plots, the Humla that is in the Midwestern region, it shows the maximum, quantity, whereas in Mugu there are some scattered plot. It means the potentiality to increase the stock up to that level if the forest is managed well and sustainable way. So this is the another findings, and we verify, try to verify with the statistical tools like PCA. They are very correlated. North, northwest, and northeast aspect are shows the positive correlation between the stock and aspect. Similarly, the elevation, you can see in the photographs that the elevation between 3400 to 3600, that is not suitable for stock, but the two other aspects, elevation like 3700 to 3900 and 4000 meter is best suitable for this species. Similarly, this is the total stock of, based on the per hectare stock, we try to calculate the total yield of this species in these districts, and based on the total annual allowable harvest rate, that is Jatamansi, we don't allow the communities to harvest 100% because this is very endangered and highly vulnerable species. So only of the total stock, 40% is allowed to harvest in a rotation of 3 years period. So this shows that around 17,000 ton is total stock in all districts, with having highest in the Mugu, that is also in the Midwestern region. And we try to compare these stocks with the oil and the monetary value. If of the total stock that is allowed to harvest by the local people, and of the total stock, this species has 1.2% of oil. So the total oil content in this stock is around 215 ton. So this the market price of Jatamansi oil is around $7,000 in market, and based on that, if we calculate the total monetary value, this is around 1.5 million per year. That is a very good amount for the local communities if the species is conserved well. And regarding the traditional knowledge and practices, local community are using this species for local health care like headache, fever, and wounds locally, and it is often used in the ingredient of traditional incense. Yeah, and similarly, it has a very good religious and spiritual value. Okay, so these are the major uses, while at the same time, the species is facing different kinds of threats for its conservation, like premature collection, forest fire, uncontrolled grazing, soil erosion, and climate change is also triggering this species to shift from lower elevation to higher. So this is one of the major threats that we have identified at the plot level data. And the management practices are, this species is already, I mentioned that under the CITES Annex 2, IUCN red list, it's a very conservation species. So Nepal is also the signatory of CITES and CBD. So we are following these policy provisions for the conservation, and monitoring is also going at 3 levels, that is based at the local level by community forest user groups, and then division forest officers. They also have the monitoring practices for this species, and internal monitoring system by local community forest user groups based on their management plan. These are the some management practices that are undergoing. And finally, these are some conclusions that Jatamansi is one of the ecologically and economically significant wild plant species extensively harvested and traded in Midwestern and Western region. Overall, the study concludes that the current study offers opportunities to manage and high value resources suitably, sustainably, and gain fair benefits from the sustainable management of these species, conserving the biodiversity. And some recommendations based on the findings. There is a need to raise the awareness. There is need to promote the sustainable harvesting practices and enhance the institutional capacity, as the local communities who are managing, they have very low management capacity and awareness. And also to design long-term research based on the permanent sample monitoring sample plots. That are some recommendations that we would like to suggest. And these are some photographs that have been taken during the field data collection. You can see the high mountains where it is grown naturally, and these are the areas where it is available in Nepal. Yes, thank you.
We have 5 minutes for questions, so please.
Did you happen to bring any oil with you?
Sorry?
Did you happen to bring any of the Jatamansi oil?
Yeah, we have.
Today?
We have in the room. Yeah.
So you were reporting around about the different regions of the growing stock, but I'm wondering around the sustainable harvest recommendations that you mentioned about the age or the size class of plants that are harvested, and you know what if you went deeper into that question about the stock.
Yeah, actually, this species has a life cycle of 3 to 5 years. So what the local community are practicing now, the whole forest area is divided into the blocks, in the rotational blocks. So they will go after 3 years after harvesting the first year block, and then while they come in the first year, they already it's mature. Yeah. So this is the practice, but sometimes if the market is the major factor driving to harvest them more and more, so this causes some negative impact on the regeneration. So we estimated, we also calculated, means we also identified the regeneration rate of this species. So only the western Midwestern region is suitable, means it's a good regeneration, but other two central and eastern part are not so good. Yeah.
Based on your study site, and you have collected samples from Western and Central Nepal.
Yeah.
Does this imply that the species is not found in Eastern Nepal?
No, actually, this species distributed in Nepal from east to west, but we have a small project for this study. So we, based on our budget and our focus area, we selected the sites in mid, central, and western region. The eastern region, there are some districts like Taplejung, who are very northern districts. They have also this species, but the maximum collection, wild collection, is from mid and western region, far western region. Yeah. Yes.
So you said that this is just a small study, but it seems to me that you've managed to sample fairly comprehensively very remote and difficult to access areas. Do you have an estimate of the amount of hours that went into this, including travel and field time?
Yes, of course. Yeah, this Jatamansi is mostly found in the pasture land, and the villages are on the walking distance of 5 to 7 hours from the village settlement. So the sites are quite far also. So sometimes it takes 1 to 2 days to reach the actual harvesting site. So due to the topography and mountains, it was difficult. And we collected around 350 samples for this study. Yeah, with detailed parameters like species, regeneration, mature plant number, like your age, then different parameters. Yeah.